Okay, so we are live, Akansha and Shelly. So, very good evening to all. We are back with our scheduled sessions, right? So today our speakers, Miss Shelly and Miss Akansha. So I'll first introduce Miss Shelly. Okay. So her professional experience, she is commercial operations advisor at Shell Energy India. Past experience, worked with French Canadian gas company. Her achievements are speaker for virtual and face-to-face nutrition sessions for runners forum, cyclists, triathlon forums, corporates, AB Jewels, and Global Metabolic Conclave in year 2020. Nutrition guidance provided to multiple athletes for triathlon, Ironman, squash, golf, tennis, and therapeutic nutrition to individuals seeking for weight loss, weight gain, and diabetes management, and other medical conditions and stages of life like maternity, pregnancy, teenage, school kids, and old age. She is official nutritionist consecutive for 3 years for a stage cycling event. Her research publications, research paper on nutritional assessment of middle-aged Gujarati Jain population and its risk factor for non-communicable diseases in International Journal of Pharma, Informa Hospital and Clinical Pharmacy in May 2011. A research paper also on nutrition effect on dark chocolates which got published in Nutritional Journal of Pharmaceutical and Biological Archive 2010, and she has published made few more papers in the prestigious journal. Her achievements: core team member of organizing Ironman Goa in year 2019, participated in 5 kilometers sea swim completion in 2018, one half Ironman distance triathlon, also 5 Olympic distance triathlon, ambassador for Adani Marathon in year 2017 in Gandhinagar, and her education in she has completed her MBA from NMIMS Mumbai and MSc in Foods and Nutrition with the specialization in nutrition. So with this, I welcome Shelly. She will speak on nutrition in for triathlon sports. So I over to you, Miss Shelly.
Thank you, Shruti, for a very warm welcome. I'll just share my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So, hi everyone. And today I'll be talking about a sport called as triathlon. What we'll be understanding is what exactly triathlon is, what are the categories of this particular sport and what kind of races do happen, what are the nutrition goals when it comes to participating in these kind of sport event. And we'll be talking about more on a nutrition related to workout, which is before the workout, focusing on during the race or a workout and after the workout. So talking about triathlon, now the word tri itself says that it involves 3 things. So there are 3 sports: swimming, cycling and running. So these are the various categories of triathlon which happen. The first is the International Triathlon Union, which has more on a sprint and Olympic and middle distance, which are very shorter distances. But if you want to participate in Olympics, then it definitely is important that you do a Olympic distance triathlon. Now, the second category is Ironman, which is more on an endurance side, which is a longer mileage. So, and Ironman is considered to be world's one-day toughest race. So there are 2 categories. One is the half of the distance, and the distance is in miles, and the other is the full one. The full one includes 3.8 kilometers swimming in the sea or a river or a lake, followed by 180 kilometers of cycling. It can be on a mountain or against winds against the shore, followed by 42 kilometers of run. And all this you have to finish in 16 hours. Then comes an Ultraman, which is a 3-day event.
Sorry, I'm disturbing you. Can you please start your screen sharing? Because I'm not able to see your PPT.
Okay. I thought I have already done it. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes. Yeah, please start now.
Yeah. So these are the type of races which I was referring to, the smaller distance, the larger distance, and this is a 3-stage event, which is day 1, day 2, and day 3. Then comes an extreme triathlon, which means that you are racing in extreme weathers. And the next is the ultra triathlons, which is much bigger distances. So this, I just wanted to explain you the sports, and that is where you can understand the nutrition part of it. Now, what are the nutrition goals when it comes to participating in this kind of an event? First is you really have to optimize on your stamina. You really have to do a bigger volume, or you have to do a higher intensity. So you really have to have a good stamina. You have to build an endurance, because if you are doing an Ironman or an ultra triathlon, you will be having, you will have to endure for very long hours. So you have to build endurance. And if you want to do a longer distance, you also have to avoid the fatigue levels, because if you are doing one sport and your fatigue level has built in, you can't sustain on the second and the third sport. So you have to maintain your energy levels from the start till the end in all the 3 sports at same level. So we have to prevent fatigue, and nutrition plays a very, very important role here. And the most important is having immunity, because when you are training for such higher volume, you need to recover faster. And while recovering, you need to have immunity as well. So what are the things we should consider? So in triathlon, it is often said, though there are 3 sports, swim, bike, and run, but the most important for us to sustain all the 3 sports is nutrition. Nutrition is the 4th leg, which says unsaid, but is the key role here. So what are the things we should consider? One is you have to have the right amount of calories. And also the carbs play a very important role. Which type of carb you have to take, whether I'll be taking you forward in the future slides, where the type and the quantity and quality of the carbs equally play a role. It depends when you want to do the carb loading. Then comes the protein intake. Now, if you're doing your bigger volume, then you want your muscles to recover faster. So you need to take adequate protein. And talking about fat, like a lot of people who are doing triathlon, but they want to do weight loss also, then the nutrition strategy changes. But if you are an athlete already and you have your body composition, which is of an athlete, then you really have to watch your intake of fat. We'll explain you why you have to be watchful on your fat intake. Then you have to consume right amount of vitamins and minerals. And so as for electrolyte plays a very, very key role, especially during the workout or during the race, for you to sustain your stamina levels till the finish line. And also most important thing, you have to nourish well after your each workout, so that you can be at the start line of the race without any injury and with full stamina. So first is we'll be talking about the pre-workout. Now, you have to, the most important thing is that you need to have a hydration strategy in place. What does hydration mean? Now, as you know, your human body is majority of water. Like if you see, overall human body has 60% of water, brain has 73% of water, our lungs have 83% of water. Now, as you are sweating, when you're doing your workout or when you're racing, what happens is every 2% of your water loss is bringing a drop in your performance by 25% and also leading to a 1 kg of weight loss. So it is very, very crucial that you need to have your hydration strategy in place. You need to train how to nourish when you are doing the sport, so that it comes into your muscle memory when you are in the actual race. Because during the race, your anxiety levels are so high that you need to have it in a reflex action. Now, for example, you are in middle of your race, you are cycling, and then you suddenly had to go and pee. Now when you're going and peeing, you have to check. I hope you are not hydrated or dehydrated. If you're dehydrated, what will happen? Your urine will be really dark. It will be very small quantity of urine. Also, if you are not urinating every 2 to 4 hours, all these are very crucial body signals which you should learn to identify and then hydrate accordingly. So if you see these signs, what happens? You need to start hydrating faster if you really want to sustain till the end of the race. Now what happens is, just before the race, the best thing to do is you need to keep sipping, keep hydrating. Either you take electrolytes or you take water, but you keep feeding yourself liquids just 2 days before the race. Why? Because you want to have enough hydration stored into your body before the race. Now the strategy is that every 10 to 15 minutes you have to sip an electrolyte. Now there are a lot of types of electrolytes which are available, so you need to see what works best for you. But the most common one is the nasal powder. Few people like to have a powder format, then you can have a nasal powder. Or if you want to have a tab format, you can use Fast Enough. I personally use Fast Enough Reload. So what we do is, it is a cylinder of 20 tabs. You put 3 tabs in your one sipper, which is 750 ml, and every 10 minutes you take one sip. That goes in the whole cycling leg and your running leg. This will avoid any cramps or avoid any fatigue, and it helps to keep your blood pressure also intact. And the better strategy further is that every 1 hour, as you are sweating, your blood pressure, you want to keep it in controlled state, you need to take one salt capsule every 1 hour. This is a standard thumb rules. Now the nutrition strategy and the hydration strategy vary from person to person, but this is a generic thumb rule which works. Now, these are some of the pre-workout magic foods which we incorporate in the nutrition strategy. First is quinoa. As you know, it helps in hemoglobin production. It improves the blood oxygenation level. It helps to recover faster, so that if there are back-to-back higher volume of training, you can actually recover faster, so that your body, the muscles are not sore, and your body is again ready for a higher volume of the workout the very next day. Brown rice. Now, brown rice equally has 7 grams of protein. It's a good complex carb. It helps in adding carb store, which can be used. A lot of people are using brown rice protein supplement as well, but it's always good.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you because it's the same slide I'm able to see. Can you please?
What has happened? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just able to read only one slide, types of race.
I am already moving on the third slide.
Okay, please again click, or please click on slideshow also.
Are you able to see now?
Yes, perfect now. Yes.
Okay. So these are some magic foods which you really need to incorporate in your nutrition strategy when you know you are going to race. Tomato is one such magic food. It is rich in lycopene. It helps to boost the lung function. It improves the performance also, because if you know that today you are doing your body is able to cope up 2 hours of training. But then if you really want to scale up to 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and 7 hours, then you need to incorporate these foods so that your body supports your workout goals and your race goals. Beetroot, I personally take beetroot very, very often. It's my personal experience. It is really helpful. It is rich in nitrate. It increases the oxygen capacity, and it also reduces the lactic acid buildup, so that there are no cramps, and you have to cycle 180 kilometers, and then you're using that same legs to do 42 kilometers of run. So you want your legs to be intact. You don't want any pain or triggers or cramps or anything. So these kind of foods does a real magic in your performance. Soya protein also equally helps. There are sunflower seeds which also helps to improve your aerobic capacity, because it has phosphatidylcholine, and it helps. And normally what we do is, if we know the race, any particular event which we are participating, 6 weeks before the race, we try to incorporate these foods. so that it helps us to perform better. Nuts, any nuts you pick, all are very nutritious, especially walnuts. Now, as I mentioned earlier also, if you have a race, even if you have done that race for 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, but still, it's a race. Just say exam de de. Like before exam, you're always anxious, your anxiety levels are really high. So walnuts really help to reduce the nervousness and keeps your brain calm so that you can focus on the race. And glutamine is one such important amino acid. It helps in faster recovery. So if normally what happens when the training goes at a peak, the workout volume ranges from 6 to 7 hours. And that is where, you really need to replenish the glutamine rich foods or a glutamine supplement, whatever your gut accepts. And the best strategy is 6 weeks before the race, try to incorporate, 5 grams thrice a day. Now, talking about what do you consume before the race? Now, the best strategy is that 2 hours before the race, you normally take carbs. Now, these are the very common carbs. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the type of the carb. Now, if at all you're consuming the carb before the workout, you want the energy to come into the bloodstream immediately. So you need, and your gut is not ready to digest any particular complex carb at this moment of time, because your brain is going to focus on using your hands and legs, right? So you need to take simple carbs, like these are some various common options which you can consume as a pre-workout nutrition. The most important thing what we tell every athlete is that just before the race, especially 3 days before the race, do keep a check on your gut health. Otherwise, all your efforts of training goes in vain. If your gut is not intact, you can't perform, because the brain and a gut has a very, very strong connection. So avoid foods which are very spicy, which are very excess in fat, which are excess in fiber, excess in caffeine, even fermented foods. Not every gut accepts the fermented food, so it's best to avoid it, and avoid alcohol as well. So these are some major pointers which you should take care if you are planning before the race. Now, just before, that was 2 hours before the race. Now, just before you are just going on the start line of the race, or you are just about to start your workout, then the most handy options are you take 1 or 2 pieces of dates, or you take one energy gel, or you take 1 to 2 figs, or banana is the best fruit which you can have. Now, talking about what you consume during the workout or during a race. Now, if at all your workout is very low intensity and you don't have to really push, you are just doing it for having a mileage, basic miles you are doing, then you can consume fat as a fuel source. But if your workout is a moderate intensity, then you should have carbs as your fuel source. And minerals, as I mentioned, electrolyte, you have to consume every 10 minutes, you have to take one sip. So minerals keep firing up your muscles and it avoids any cramps. So minerals will go throughout your workout and your race. And protein, if you're doing a very high intensity workout, then 2 to 3 hours before you should consume protein. So till the time you are starting, it digests and it helps in supporting the and gives you stamina during the workout and helps you as a good fuel. But you need to consume it much in advance, not just before you start a workout. Now, these are some very common during the workout or during the race sources of nutrition. There are honey shots which are available, or energy gels, or energy bars. A lot of people try to make energy balls at home itself. If you don't want to take any of these things, you can prepare at home and then take it. But what happens is, if you're racing outside India, then it is practically not feasible to make everything and go. You don't know the weather, you don't know the availability of that particular source. So it is best that if you're racing outside India, then it is better you prefer on the gels. Then there are some natural food sources like peanut chicky, figs, banana, dates, fresh oranges, and whatnot. All these, if you see, all these have simple carbs. Then talking about the post-workout. Now, post-workout is the most crucial element. Why? because our body has a tendency to recover the muscles. The first 2 hours just after you finish a race or a workout is considered to be a golden hour. The efficiency of the body to repair the muscles is the fastest in the first 2 hours. It will repair after 2 hours as well, but the process gets slowed down. So if you know, if you have a higher volume of training today and then you have it today, tomorrow as well, so you don't want to miss on that golden hour. You want to start the recovery, muscle recovery process in your body immediately after you finish your workout. So you need to restore and replenish your glycogen levels. You need to reduce your muscle protein breakdown. You need to help your muscle protein synthesis. You want that repairing to happen. You need to rebuild your muscles which are already torn, and you need to replenish your fluid levels. So nutrition, if you talk about in terms, a lot of people, after the workout is happened, finished, and the race is over, they all really chill out and they are so busy taking photographs and all, but they forget that you are losing on your that first golden hour of recovery. So the best and the most crucial thing is first nourish, and then you do whatever you want to do. So these are some common options which you can consume after the workout as a recovery food. Then how does the nutrition strategy work in terms of recovery? So as soon as you finish your workout or a race, you need to replenish. The first thing immediately you have to do is replenish your vitamins and minerals. Then within 20 minutes, you consume your protein source. And within 2 hours, you consume your carbs and protein. Now, what happens? A lot of people feel that, oh, I have done a very good workout today, and now I deserve the best of all the foods which I feel guilty. Now I can take because I have sweat it out. But they don't understand. They'll try to eat a lot of deep fried foods like bhajias and whatnot. Yeah. But you know what happens because of that? The fat is going in the tummy. The first thing after a workout, fat is going, and that inhibits the absorption of all the other nutrients. That is the worst thing you can do to your body. So the better nutrition strategy is what I explained to you right now, and it is important to focus on this. Now, what is the role of carbs in the recovery part? It helps to replenish the glycogen stores which have already used in the workout. It also helps to refuel because that is the most effective one. The recommendation is 1.1 to 1.5 grams per kg body weight. And the best is that you have a carb and a protein combination so that it becomes a good quality protein. And that also helps to maximize the protein and the glycogen synthesis. The ratio is more of 3:1 ratio. These are some of the common food items which you can consume as a carb source. Talking about protein, now what happens is as we have used our muscles with very high intensity, the breakdown happens repeatedly of the muscle. So we need to consume protein to repair and rebuild that muscle. And it helps to also build a new muscle tissue. So you need to refuel. A lot of people just focus on protein, but now you should understand that all the nutrients have different roles to play. So you need to have a proper nourishing meal. It's not only protein, but protein is equally crucial. Like glutamine, I mentioned, it is the most common amino acid which is used the most from your muscles when you are doing a very high intensity or a higher volume workout. So the recommendation is that if you're just doing, it's 0.3 to 0.5 grams per kg body weight within 20 minutes post workout. But after when you're taking that meal within 2 hours, you need to further nourish yourself with the protein source. These are some common protein sources which are mentioned, like whole pearls, tofu, brown rice, hemp seeds, quinoa, spinach, green peas. These are some protein sources which you can always incorporate. Now talking about fat. Now what happens is that if you need to consume fat. If you're doing purely a workout to do a weight loss or a fat loss in the body, then the best thing is you consume 2 hours before a fat source, and then you go. You don't take any carbs. So what will happen is you are triggering your fat metabolism, and then the fat is used as a fuel for your body, and that is where you will have the fat loss, and that is your actual goal to do a workout. But it works other way also. Like if you're immediately taking, as I mentioned earlier also, it might inhibit the absorption of other nutrients. So omega-3 fat intakes help generous anti-inflammatory. So you need to consume fat, but the timing of the intake of the fat is a crucial element here. These are some common fat food sources. Then what about electrolytes like vitamins and minerals? You, as you know, that our body has lot of majority is water in the body, and if that water drops, we need to replenish. So we need to replace the fluids which have already lost in terms of sweat. So instead of just having water, best is try to replenish the carbs, vitamins, and minerals. You can consume any fresh fruit juice, or you can consume a vegetable juice, the best thing, or you can consume coconut water also. Vitamin B12 is equally important. Like talking about me myself, like if we know we are racing, we always keep a check on our vitamin B12 levels, because as we are doing very higher workouts, our vitamin B12 level drops very fast. So we need to keep a check on vitamin B12, and we do use supplements for B12. And why B12? Because it helps in optimum energy production, it helps to build the muscles and endurance, and it also helps to repair the muscles. Vitamin D also, as we are staying in India, you are always prone to have sunlight. But if you know that you have a very sedentary lifestyle and you're not stepping out of the home very often, then you need to keep a check on your vitamin D levels as well, because it is important for your bone health and skeletal muscles. Magnesium, very crucial. It helps to reduce the muscle fatigue and muscle soreness. And sodium and potassium, as you all know, you need to restore the lost water balance. So all these vitamins and minerals play an equal important role, which you need to recover and nourish yourself. These are some of the common magnesium rich foods, and vitamin B12 and vitamin B3 rich foods, which you can have a look at here. These are some sample of electrolyte rich foods, like celery, apple, and lemon put together gives you a good juice. Or you can, if you don't have anything, just have coconut water with 1 tablespoon of chia seed, the most simple thing which you can do. And you can have a smoothie also, which we'll be seeing in the next session. This is a common thumb rule which we follow. Like if we have a very moderate workout, the carb, protein, and fat ratio is this 5 grams per kg body weight. But if it's a very heavy workout, like 6 to 7 hours, or if it is a lesser duration but higher intensity, is also considered to be a heavy workout. So then the carb intake comes to 12 grams per kg body weight. And for protein, it is 1 gram for moderate and 2 grams for heavy. Fat is 1 gram per kg body weight, and for heavy it is 1.6 grams per kg weight. These are some common thumb rules. From person to person, it varies. So in nutshell, I hope you will understand after my session that nutrition definitely matters. If you really want to perform very well, you need to eat right. In triathlon, nutrition is the fourth leg. So thank you very much. And I hope you will take interest in triathlon as a sport, and nutrition has a very good scope for triathlon as a sport. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Shaily, for detailed talk on nutrition in triathlon, especially focusing on certain food items that one can consume pre and post workout, because always it's a question mark for all what to consume, what are the best food that one can take pre and post workout. And definitely, and you have also focused on how it is important for an athlete to focus on gut health, especially before 3 days or 4 days they have a race. And with this, again, it is important that please, for all nutrients have their own role. So only protein not, but definitely with protein you have to focus, you have to make sure that you meet all your all your other nutrients requirement also. So thank you so much, Shaily. Yeah. Now I invite Miss Akansha.
Hi, Shaily.
Hi. So just give me 1 minute. So, Miss Akansha, she is MSc in Foods and Nutrition from MSU Baroda, certified diabetic educator, preventive and promotive healthcare certification from Apollo Hospital, Hyderabad, life member of IDA. She is diet and nutrition consultant at her own venture, Nutra Nurture. She is focusing on personalized diet and lifestyle counseling for various diseases like PCOD, obesity, thyroid, hypertension, and other lifestyle related disorder. She's having 15 years of work experience in the field of nutrition and dietetics, and she has been associated with certain pharmaceutical companies for and conducted many health camps in Ahmedabad, and worked as a wellness counselor also in certain corporates. Her areas of interest are just 1 minute. Her areas of interest, she is actively involved in participating as a speaker at various nutrition related workshops and seminars, and sharing her knowledge as a keen interest in modifying, creating, and sharing new recipes which cater to various segments of health enthusiasts. Her achievements in has won award in various recipe competitions, speaker in various seminar and conferences, and many publications also in different health magazines and newsletter, and has been judging various competition and presentations across forum. So with this, I invite Ms. Akansha. She will speak on she will demonstrate recipe also, and also speak on importance of protein. Yes, please, over
Yeah,
to
can
you,
you view my
Akansha.
screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hi, good evening, one and all. Thank you so much, Shruti, for the kind introduction. And thank you so much, IDA, for inviting me to this forum. Today, let me begin with the presentation on high protein foods, wherein I would like to highlight the importance and the role of proteins for our body, also the importance of proteins in our diet. And lastly, I would like to conclude my presentation with a demonstration of a protein-rich sattu smoothie. So let's move on to the next slide. If we look at the body composition, then besides water, proteins are the most abundant molecules present in the body. And they comprises almost 17 to 20% of our body structure. Now, I want to ask, do we get enough proteins in our diet? We keep watching our calorie intake, how much fat we consume, how much salt and sugar we consume, and we keep counting our calorie intake every day. But it is equally important to understand and to know how much protein are we ingesting and the kind of protein that we are eating. Is it of good quality? So what are proteins? Protein is a macronutrient that forms the building blocks of the human body. As the name suggests, macronutrient means that we need it in large amounts to stay healthy. The normal requirement of a human body is 0.8 gram per kg body weight. So say, for example, we are 60 kgs of weight, then the protein requirement ranges between 45 to 50 grams. However, this requirement increases as per the age, need, and the exercise pattern of an individual. It can go up to 1 gram per kg body weight or even 1.2 or 1.5 as the body requires. Proteins also play a key role in the creation and maintenance of each and every cell in our body. It fuels our cells and powers up our bodies. it is also very important to consume proteins every day, since we cannot store the proteins in the body. Daily protein intake thus becomes very crucial and should be a part of our daily health regime. A deficiency in protein leads to muscle atrophy and impaired functioning of the body in general. Now, in short, I want to say proteins are made up of many different building blocks known as amino acids. These amino acids are linked together in specific number and sequence. Dietary proteins, when we ingest dietary proteins are digested and absorbed in the body in the form of amino acids. Now, amino acids are classified into two types: the essential amino acids and the non-essential. The essential are the ones that cannot be produced by the body, and they have to be acquired through dietary food sources. Non-essential are the ones that can be produced by the body and that can be produced within the body with the help of other amino acids and other components. Now, out of the total 20 amino acids, 9 are the essential ones, whereas the rest are the non-essential ones. So why does the body need so much of protein? Proteins are the building blocks of each and every cell of the body. They are the building blocks of bones, muscles, cartilage, skin, hair, as well as nails. Not only proteins helps up in the building up of the different cells, but they also helps in repairing of our body tissues. About half of the dietary protein that we ingest goes into the production of many enzymes, which in turn aids in digestion of food and helps in making new cells and body chemicals. Proteins also plays an important role in hormone regulation, especially during the transformation and development of cells during puberty. Now, this red blood cells present in our body carries a protein compound, which in turn carries oxygen throughout the body, and thus helps our body to supply various necessary nutrients that the body needs. Coming down to the importance of proteins, eating high protein foods gives us many health and fitness benefits. When we eat a high protein diet, it gives a satiety value very quickly. Now, this happens because proteins helps in suppressing the hunger hormone ghrelin and also boost the production of peptide hormones, which in turn gives a lot of fullness to the body. Thus, eating high protein foods helps in reducing appetite, curbs the hunger, and in turn helps to maintain a healthy body weight. Now, as we all know, proteins are the building blocks of all the different types of muscles in the body. So when we eat adequate right amount of protein foods combined with right amount of strength training, it helps in increasing the muscle mass and also gives good muscle strength to our body. Proteins also boost the metabolic rate of the body. This happens because the thermogenic effect of proteins is maximum. When we compare it to the high carbohydrate meal or a high fat meal, the thermic effect of high protein foods is maximum. Proteins also helps in reducing the muscle loss. Now, sarcopenia is a disorder which is characterized by progressive loss of muscle, which is especially seen in the older age groups. Now, if we give adequate amount of proteins to the elderlies, along with some kind of physical activity, as in what is required as per their age group, we can help the elderly age group to sustain the strength of their muscles and also prevents the loss of their muscle strength, thus preventing sarcopenia. Now, as we have seen in the previous presentation, athletes need a lot of proteins to manage their daily exercise patterns. So sometimes the daily protein intake for athletes go up to 1.2 or 1.5 gram per kg body weight. So proteins is not just required to build up the muscles of the body, but it is also required to repair and strengthen the muscle tissue soon after the exercise or even after an injury that happens to the body. Coming to the food sources, both animal and plant-based foods are rich sources of protein. But do they have the same quality? Quality over here refers to the distribution of essential amino acids in the body. Now, animal-based sources like eggs, chicken, meat, fish, dairy products like milk, curd, yogurt, paneer, etc., are all complete set of proteins. They are complete proteins in themselves. The digestibility of proteins is very high, and they are very good quality proteins because almost all the animal-based sources have 9 essential amino acids present in them. But when we look at the plant-based sources, even they are very good and rich sources of protein, but they have a little less quality of protein since 1 or 2 essential amino acids are lacking in the plant-based sources. Except for quinoa and buckwheat, which almost has the complete amino acid profile, most of the plant-based sources are limiting in their amino acid profile. So here comes the need, wherein we need to complement the plant-based sources with the animal-based sources, or the plant-based sources with dairy products, or combine them together with nuts to increase the amino acid intake of a particular dish. So these are some diet tips to add more proteins to the diet and also to improve the quality of the diet. As I mentioned earlier, we need to complement and mix variety of plant foods or plant foods with animal foods or plant foods with dairy products in our daily meals. We can make interesting and healthy recipes to balance our amino acid intake. Some of these interesting recipes could be combination of dal and rice. So if 1 or 2 amino acids are missing in dal and pulses, it could be complemented with the ingestion of rice or brown rice along with dal and pulses. Also, when we ingest oatmeal, when oats are complemented with milk and there is addition of dry fruits and nuts and dates to it, it suffices and completes the amino acid profile of the dish oatmeal in itself. Also, the recipe that I am going to demonstrate further, also in that recipe also I have complemented sattu with curd, which I'm going to explain it later. We also need to eat proteins just before our meals. Eating proteins right before our meals gives a feeling of fullness. So say we can have a glass of buttermilk, top it up with chia seeds and have it right before your meal. Or we can have a fruit raita in which we can use a thick curd. We can top it up with a lot of nuts, pumpkin seeds, pistachio, almonds, chia seeds, and loads of fruits before, and we can take it up before the meals. Also, we need to include protein-rich foods in almost all the meals. An average of 20 gram protein is required for a normal individual in different set of meals. Now, when we distribute the amount of proteins, the digestibility and the availability of proteins increases. So it is very, very important कि हम एक मील में बहुत सारा प्रोटीन नहीं खाएं. In fact, हम उस प्रोटीन को different meals में divide करें and we mix it up with adequate amount of proteins, little quantity of fat, and lots of vitamins and minerals along with a high protein diet. Then comes a diet which is truly balanced in nature. To increase the addition of proteins, we can also add various kind of nuts, soya chunks, soya granules, boiled quinoa to our salads to pep up the daily dose of proteins. We can also add hung curd and peanut butter to our salad dressings and to our sandwiches. We can also eat hummus along with a multigrain bread or a multigrain khakra. Now, protein supplements truly adds a lot of protein to our diet. There are many protein supplements available in the market like whey, casein, soy, protein bars, biscuits, etc. Now, these, no doubt, they add a good amount of protein to our diet. But normally, such protein supplements are required only by those individuals whose protein requirement goes up to 1.2 or 1.5 gram per kg body weight. Normal individuals with moderate amount of exercise do not need any kind of protein supplements in their diet. What they need is a healthy, moderate amount of protein and mix the plant-based proteins with animal proteins in interesting and healthy recipes so that we can improve the quality of proteins in our diets. Now, protein shakes and smoothies are in great trend these days. Everybody wants to consume them in their daily diets. Now, generally, protein shakes and smoothies are made out of protein supplement powders that are commercially available. But today, I want to demonstrate a recipe which is high protein, and I have used it. I have made that smoothie using sattu flour. Now, sattu has recently gained a lot of popularity. Earlier, it was called a poor man's protein, and it was available mostly in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, and Jharkhand. But now it is available in almost all the states of India. Sattu is a protein-rich flour which is made out of using 3 grains. It is made from roasted chana, roasted barley, and wheat. All the 3 grains have to be roasted properly and then powdered to form a rich sattu protein flour. The quantity of roasted chana is maximum in sattu, and thus sattu becomes really high in protein. Now, high protein and insoluble fiber gives a very good satiety value to the sattu. Sattu also has great coolant properties, and it is a superb hydrating drink for summers. Not only does it improve digestion, but it is also a very good natural colon cleanser. The low glycemic index present in sattu keeps the blood sugar levels in check, and it also improves our cholesterol levels. Now, sometimes we are very busy and we do not want to cook breakfast, especially on our busy mornings. That time, we look forward to such recipes which are very convenient and healthy, as well as they can be made quickly without much hassle. So this sattu smoothie that I'm going to demonstrate next can be made in 5 to 10 minutes. And it is not only healthy, nutritious, and high in proteins, but it is also very refreshing and tasty to drink. Sattu smoothie, as I had mentioned earlier, we need to complement plant-based proteins with dairy product. In this smoothie, sattu is lacking in amino acids such as methionine and cysteine. Now, when I complement it with curd, now curd has got a complete amino acid profile. So the resultant smoothie that I made is complete in itself. It has got good quality proteins. It gives us almost 18 grams of protein and about 250 calories in this drink. Now, before I move on to the demonstration of the sattu smoothie, I would like to divert your attention to the health benefits. Sattu, since it is rich in protein and rich in insoluble fiber, it keeps us full for a very long period of time. It gives an amazing satiety value to us. It gives an instant boost of energy, so we can have it right in the mornings to kickstart our day. It is a great powerhouse of nutrients. Not only is it rich in proteins and fiber, but it is also very rich in calcium, manganese, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. A glass of sattu smoothie every day helps in promoting the muscle mass, and it helps in strengthening our bones. It also aids our digestion and is extremely rich in probiotics. It also helps in managing our blood sugar levels. Lastly, it is also a great post-workout drink and is an excellent drink for all those people who are managing their weight. Now, let me just start with the recipe demonstration. Yeah. Shruti, I'm visible now?
Yes, Akansha.
Yeah, so these are the few ingredients. Now I want to demonstrate the sattu smoothie. These are the few ingredients that I have lined up in the tray. The main ingredient of my sattu smoothie is sattu powder. I have taken 2 tablespoons of sattu powder. To this, I have added the homemade dahi or curd. Now, curd is extremely rich in calcium and it is also rich in potassium and is also completely rich in probiotics, and it is very, very healthy for our gut. To this smoothie, I have taken 4 tablespoons of curd. To this, I'm adding half a banana. Now, banana is also a rich source of phosphorus, potassium, and calcium. To sweeten my smoothie, I have taken dates, but since dates would be a little difficult to blend along with my smoothie, I have grinded it separately in my grinder. Instead of dates, you can also use honey or jaggery for the sweetness. To this, I have added 7 to 8 soaked almonds. There is no need to take out the skin for the to blend. To this, I've added peanut butter. Now, peanut butter adds a good punch of protein to the smoothie, but it is completely optional. If you do not like the taste of peanut butter or you do not want to increase the amount of fat in the body, you can completely skip it. But frankly speaking, peanut butter tastes really very nice in the smoothie. To this, I have added peanut butter. Blend it up separately, and I have blended it and kept it. Now the blended quantity of dates, almonds, and peanut butter, I'm going to add in the smoothie. Now to dilute the smoothie, I have added coconut water. Just give it a little stir. Now just blend all the ingredients at high speed. And yes, this high protein sattu is ready to drink. One more thing I would like to mention here is immediately consume the sattu drink. Do not keep it for long hours in the fridge. Do not try and take it to the office and drink after 2 to 3 hours of making it. Please consume it fresh. Now I would like to pour it. If you find your sattu smoothie to be a little thick, you can further add ice cubes to it. Coconut water is also completely optional. You can add water or ice cubes to make this smoothie. Lastly, I have topped it up with chia seeds. And yes, the sattu smoothie is ready to drink. Thank you so much.
Looks really nice and tempting.
To Shaily. So thank you so much, Akansha, for very insightful presentation on proteins. What are proteins, essential amino acids, and its protein functions. And definitely, as Shaily has told, that very tempting that sattu recipe. So thank you so much, Ms. Akansha and Shaily, for your time. And thank you all our viewers. We will again meet tomorrow at 4 p.m. with our next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you.